Hello and welcome back to MindSpanse. My name's Craig. Thank you for taking some time with me. This is my second video this morning. It's just so beautiful this morning. Usually it's so windy here and I can't record because you can't hear a thing. And it's just so quiet. It happens to be my last day, so thank you for providing such a beautiful morning so I can make some great videos for you guys. And today is probably, it could be the most important video I've done. I don't know. They're all pretty cool. But this one's really, really important because it's so, when you think about elevating your daily life and what happens every day in our existence, there's really, I think one of the biggest things is not reacting to stuff. When you can learn to not react and just observe, it just changes your whole life. There's no other way to put it. It changes in such a positive way your whole existence. You take control, and I use control very lightly. You don't cede control to other people, let's just say that way. And that is so important because that disempowerment of yourself, of your self is so damaging in so many ways. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and how to, it's difficult and it takes time, but it's so valuable and so important to educate yourself on how to evolve beyond reacting. And first, let's take a big stretch, because, oh man, deep breath. It is so, they cut the grass, you know that smell of fresh cut grass, and you hear the bird. There's a bald eagle over there, and it hopefully it'll come by this morning. But yesterday morning it was too windy to tape, but the eagle came by and then swooped down and caught a fish, and it's big, probably about 1.5 feet long, like largemouth bass, in its talons, and then flew around the lake like 3 or 4 times with the fish in its talons, like as if showing it off. It was sort of cool. And it was a great, giant bird. It was like a giant. It's incredible. So it was really beautiful, and it's just been awesome here. I saw some bears the other night, big black bear, and there's this family of deers and bucks. And their kids, and they come by and feed on the grass right here. So it's been really beautiful. My son's had a blast. So I did my first YouTube short with him last night. He taught me how to do it. He has his own channel. So he likes to travel. He's into buses and planes and trains and whatnot. So reacting, don't react. But first, what I've been doing now is I do these bring downs that I do myself. And so I want to teach you guys these bring down techniques because they're so important, not just during the day, but most people have a hard time sleeping at night. And these are really great for just sort of cleansing the noise in your mind and just relaxing and getting more present, more focused, and de-stressing your body. And as a result, it allows you to get very focused on either your work you're doing or your workout or going to sleep, whatever it is you're going to try to do. So this one, it's sort of an aggressive one when the noise is, you've had a really crazy day and there's like all these conversations going on in your head. You're like, ah. And we've all had those, and of course it makes it very difficult to sleep, and certainly even to go do your next job or whatever you're trying to do. It seems to just permeate. It's like that song that just keeps playing over and over in your head, and you're like, oh God, how do I get rid of it? And this is like an aggressive way to sort of stop that process or evolve that process. So first, take a really deep breath. You're gonna find it funny, but it actually does work, so I recommend it. And it's very fast. It's like a minute, 2 minutes, and you'll see that it makes a big difference, and particularly as you do it more. So take a deep breath and just start to relax. And I always say, like, when you're breathing, always breathe and imagine like the most beautiful air and sparkling air coming into your whole body, and the oxygen flowing through everything, and just feel it. Feel that that what you need to live. We don't breathe enough. Generally, we breathe shallow, and just breathing deep. Try to do that often during the day. Is do very, very deep breathing, and it just de-stresses your mind, your body, tells your body you're okay. When you're not getting enough oxygen, your body starts to think you're not getting enough oxygen and starts to freak out. So do that. And as you exhale, just exhale bad stuff and stress, and let your shoulders relax and your jaw and each part of your body. And so that's just, we should always be doing that. And in this exercise, I'm assuming you're in a state. So this state is where you're really freaking out, where it's like the noise is just immense. And so imagine you're standing and there's someone behind you with a fire hose. Seriously, like one of those really powerful fire hoses. Not that it's going to hurt you at all, but it's just this enormous pressure of water or air or whatever, something that's going to go through you. And then imagine that as you breathe in, that hose is right behind you, and as you breathe out, that hose turns on and shoots through the back of your head, and it's like the shower, a really strong shower in the back of your head, except it's going through and it's washing there's nothing else you can think about except it's just rushing so quickly through your whole head that there's nothing left to think about. And don't think, just let it happen. And it's not going to happen right away, but it may. And then you keep going in every direction. So you do it from the back, then you do it from the front, then you do it from this side, you do it from that side, and you keep doing that around and around. And after a couple of times, there's nothing left to think about. It's just, everything's just washed out. And when you stop, you may start to feel things come back a little bit, but it's going to be much quieter, and you can use some other techniques or just keep doing that. And you'll get better at it, like everything that we do here, and it'll eventually just go away. But it really does. I don't recommend it when you're sort of have like minimal noise. Just use some of these other techniques I talk about, which are less intrusive. This one's sort of like break glass in case of emergency, but it really does work, and it's love to hear what your thoughts are when you try it. So anyway, not reacting. So we all react to stuff. I still react to stuff. It drives me crazy, but I do. And they're just things that push your buttons. My son is an expert at pushing my buttons. What you start to realize as you go through this process is you start to realize you get to know your buttons, number one. You get to know when you're reacting very quickly so you can cut it off. And you build strategies for yourself. And it's a very personal thing. So whatever I'm going to talk to you about, I think are generally really good strategies, but certainly you'll evolve them to what works best for you. So you're in a situation, as an example, and someone sends you an email or whatever, and it's sort of like almost threatening or feels threatening or whatever it is, and you want to respond, you want to do something. And so normally the old Craig would have responded right away. Something. But I don't do that anymore. And it's the same, like if you get upset about, something your son said or something your wife said or whoever, anybody, but there's just, someone cuts you off on the highway or whatever it is, there's that moment where your adrenaline rushes and you're like, ah, and you're just like, want to do something. And reacting from an emotional state reacting at all is we're trying to get away from, but just being in that emotional state and acting from that emotional state is always generally not a good idea. So how do we do this? First, like everything, is to just observe yourself and others around you and spend time. You've been doing this your whole life, and now it's time to change. And I promise you, this is one of those things that really will, if you cut out 50% of your reactions during the day, your life's going to be like 100 times better every day. It just is. Because it's just going to take all that stress away, and you're going to have a lot more clarity, and you're going to have a lot more intention in terms of how you respond to situations, and it's going to be much more productive, and you're going to communicate better, and all that is just self-enforcing goodness, right? And that's really awesome. So even little shifts in how you react. So don't feel like you're going to never react. I mean, it happens all the time. But if you can cut it down, it's going to make a huge, huge difference. So first thing is observe, like in everything that we do in our practice, is to observe ourselves and observe people around us, and take notes, and don't judge. Just watch and take notes. And over time, and take the time to really understand what it is that sets you off, when do you feel like you want to react, and just that process alone of becoming an observer. And when you want to react, just don't. Just say, I'm not going to react at all. No, even if you think you really are supposed to react, don't react. Just don't. And or if you do, make a note that I just couldn't help myself. I had to send that email, or I had to make that phone call, or I had to do something. And take note of it, and why and what happened, and just do that and see how other people react. See, like when you do, sometimes you'll push people's buttons, and sometimes you do it on purpose, and sometimes you do it by accident. And take note of all of that stuff and how other people operate and how they react, and little by little you'll start to understand this machine of action and reaction, and the emotional involvement, and it'll become clearer. It won't become crystal clear right away, but it'll start to become clearer, the things that cause you to operate in a certain way that's very negative, potentially, and how other people operate. And as a result of that, you can start to then recognize and stop, right? So you recognize you're in a state where you might want to react because something happened, and just wait. Say, I'm going to wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I think what really helped me, I know this is going to sound weird, but my mom is a psychologist, or was when she was younger, and I guess she's still that. She doesn't work as that anymore, and so she used to say, like when I was quitting smoking, that it'll pass, like the desire to have that cigarette passes, because she used to smoke when she was younger. So, and it's sort of that. I think that really helped in all the stuff that I do. I know it was a horrible habit, but that quitting process that I went through, and being very cognizant of having that overwhelming desire to have a cigarette, to the point of like, where it feels like you're dying, that you want to have it so bad, and realizing that it passes, that it does. It's a wave, a very strong wave that subsides. Initially takes a while, but little by little that wave shortens and shortens and passes. And it's very similar to this whole like ingrained psychological response behavior, whether it's that or food or emotional reactions to particular conversations or whatever it is this ingrained behavior that once you recognize it and decide to change, it's hard because it's something you've been doing for so long that your whole neural network is designed to operate this way. And so in the beginning, your desire to react is going to be very, very, very strong. It's going to be hard to overcome, but realize it will pass. And in the beginning, the passing might take time, and you may falter, and you're likely to falter, and that's okay. Never beat yourself up about anything ever, first of all. You know. And but over time, as you continue to work and continue to do it, your brain, first of all, is going to change. Your connections are going to change. It's going to realize, your brain's going to start to help you, and one, you'll recognize it faster. Two, the duration and intensity of the desire to react is going to lessen and shorten, right? And which makes it easier, and so it's this positive reinforcement for you to continue to evolve beyond that developed emotional response system. And you just keep working on it, and then stop for a while. Just stop. Don't kill yourself. You have plenty of time, and just little improvements make a big difference, and you'll start to see that it makes a big difference in your life, and then go back at it and do the work again, and little by little do some observational work again, and you go through the cycle, and give yourself a year or whatever it takes to go through this process. It's not going to happen in 2 seconds, but the value for the rest of your life is going to be so immense, because it's one of those things that just changes your whole day, and also it's so positive because you realize how you used to be and how you are today, and how that would have sent you into a tizzy. And today it's like, yeah, I was pissed for like 3 seconds, and then I let it go, because it was like, I started laughing. And you start to laugh at yourself, because you start to see so clearly that ingrained reaction, and it's still sort of hiding down there a little bit, and it's funny. It's funny that we've developed that way, but we also have an incredible ability to change. You got to believe that you have the ability to change. Every day you wake up, you have the ability to create the best version of yourself, a better version of yourself. And we all make mistakes, and we all screw up and do stupid things, and that's fine. Obviously, we're human, and that's what it is to be human. And you just try to do better every day, every time, and be real. And I think that through this process, it's going to carry over into so many other things that you do. If you like to play sports, or playing golf with people who react to their bad swings, and that destroys their entire game. Like they have one bad shot, and then their next 3 holes it destroys their whole mindset, and then their life is like everyone who plays golf knows those people. So being able to let those things go and move on, and each shot is a world on its own. Each moment is a universe unto itself, and you'll find that you're just totally elevated. So that's what I got on this gorgeous morning. I'm gonna finish packing up and head back to the city. So my next video will be from there. Maybe I'll go Central Park for my next one. And definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I wish you all an amazing non-reactive day, and just do a little more observing. That is a big start in all these practices, and there's no right way. There's just your way, and I just try to provide a sort of an outline or a guide on how to sort of approach some of these challenges in our mindset, the trucks. So take care, enjoy, thank you for your time, and I look forward to the next one. Have a great day.